Let us solve the structure of the organic compound based on its mass spectrum, IR, UV and NMR spectrum. Now, in order to determine the structure, we have to follow some systematic steps. So, out of that, the first step is the interpretation of mass spectrum. Now, by referring the mass spectrum, we have to identify what is the molecular ion peak, means the M plus dot peak. Now, for the given compound, the M plus dot peak is at M by Z 72. So, this means that molecular weight of the compound is 72. Now, according to the nitrogen rule, we know that if our compound contains even number of nitrogens, which includes 0, otherwise 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., then the molecular ion peak will appear in the even number. So, the 72 is even number. So, therefore, this compound contains either 0 nitrogen, otherwise 2, 4, 6, etc. number of nitrogens. Now let us consider next the base peak. Base peak means the tallest peak, whose relative abundance is considered as 100%. Now the tallest peak in this given mass spectrum is 43. It is appearing at M by Z 43. So therefore the base peak of the compound is 43. Now we know that 43 is due to the presence of ketomethyl, means a C double bond O CH3, or maybe due to the isopropyl group. So when we will look at the structure of the compound finally, then we will be able to know whether ketomethyl group is there or isopropyl group is there, or both are there, because this molecule is giving the fragment peak at M by Z 43. Now in addition with that, some other peaks are also there, like M by Z 29, the M by Z 57. So out of these two, M by Z 29 is also one very important fragment peak. The compounds which give peak at M by Z 29, that is mainly due to the ethyl group, or maybe due to the formyl group, or maybe due to the presence of both. Now next, coming to the calculation of the molecular formula by using the relative intensity of the isotopic peaks. Now isotopic peaks are the peaks which appear at the isotopic peak here, it is at M by Z 73, which is appearing at the right hand side with respect to the molecular ion peak 72. And the 72 and the 73, there is a mass difference is only 1. So the 73 peak is considered as the M plus 1 peak. Now the relative intensity of M plus 1 peak is 1.63%. Now by using this, we can calculate the number of carbon atoms. So the formula is the number of carbon atoms is equal to relative intensity of M plus 1 peak multiplied by 100 divided by relative intensity of molecular ion peak into 1.1. So that is 1.1 is the relative abundance of C13 isotope of carbon, that is very negligible in the nature, and that value is 1.1. So number of carbons is equal to relative intensity of M plus 1 peak, which is 1.63, multiplied by 100 divided by relative intensity of molecular ion peak, which is 37 into 1.1. So if we solve this, we will get that value is closest to the 4. So this compound whose M plus dot peak is at M by Z 72, that compound contains 4 carbons. And this formula we are using for without nitrogen. So therefore 4 carbons contribute. 4 into 12 is equal to 48. So the remaining mass is 72 minus 48, that is so the remaining mass is 24. So let us consider the one oxygen whose mass is 16. So therefore the again the remaining mass is 24 minus 16 is equal to 8. So 8 is the indicating the number of hydrogens. So therefore after solving we have come to know the number of carbons present in this compound is 4. This compound contains one oxygen and this compound has the 4 hydrogens. So therefore the molecular formula of this compound is C4H8O. So now in order to get the clear idea about the multiple bonds or the rings present in this compound, we are going to calculate the double bond equivalence, which in short is called as DBE. So the formula is A plus 1 minus B minus C by 2, where A is equal to number of carbons, B is equal to number of hydrogens and halogens, C is equal to number of nitrogens. So here A value is 4, B value is 8, C value is 0. So if we put this and solve, then DBE of this molecule comes as 1. So this DBE 1 indicates the presence of one double bond, otherwise presence of one ring. So now with this we have completed the interpretation of mass spectrum, means we have completed the step number 1, where we have come to know the molecular weight of the compound is 72. The molecular formula of this compound is C4H8O. The base peak is at 43, which indicates the presence of ketomethyl or isopropyl group. Other peaks are also there, and also we have come to know that this compound is not aromatic because the characteristic peaks, because the double bond equivalence of this molecule is only 1. Now we will go to the step 2, that is the interpretation of the IR. The main application of this IR spectroscopy in order to find out the structure of the organic molecule is to get the first-hand information about the functional group, which functional group is present in this molecule. So if you look at the molecular formula, it is indicating that our compound contains one oxygen, means compound can be having the carbonyl functional group, or it can be having the hydroxy functional group, OH functional group, or it can be having the ether functional group. The main means the functional group which contains one oxygen. So whether it contains the carbonyl, or it contains the OH, or it contains the ether, in order to know we have to refer the IR spectrum of the given compound, which is seen at the top of the page. Now the important peak, it is very clear, that is 1705, and it indicates the presence of the C double bond O in the molecule, means that nu bar 1705 centimeter inverse is due to the C double bond O stretching frequency, means this compound problem number 1 contains the the carbonyl functional group. It does not contain the ether, or it also does not contain the OH. Okay. So now this near about 3000, that nu bar 2900 centimeter inverse, that peak is due to the that sp3 carbon hydrogen stretching, and that important peak which already I have told you 1705 centimeter inverse, that is due to the carbonyl stretching. So the interpretation of IR is completed, and we have come to know one additional information, that this compound contains the carbonyl functional group. Now we will go to the step number 3, and where we will do the interpretation of the UV spectrum given in that page. So this compound contains C double bond O chromophore, that is confirmed from the IR. So we will see that characteristic peaks of the C double bond O chromophore in UV, means we know that it will be having the pi to pi star transition and the n to pi star transition. But the pi to pi star transition comes in the far UV. But in this page, the UV starts from the 200, so therefore pi to pi star will not be seen. What can be seen is the n to pi star transition. So that if we drop the perpendicular to the lambda max, and if we drop the perpendicular to the y-axis, then we will be getting the absorbance. So the lambda max is approximately to what it is, the 275 nanometer. So this is due to the n to pi star transition, because the pi to pi star transition will not come, and the if we know the absorbance, if we drop the perpendicular to the y-axis, then absorbance also it is coming, that is 0.68 like that. So if we epsilon max is equal to absorbance into molecular weight into 100 divided by concentration in milligram per 100 ml into path length in centimeter. So all the informations are available in the UV spectrum box. So if we draw absorbance, means which we have dropped the perpendicular to the y-axis, that is the 0.68, and molecular weight is the 72 into 100 divided by concentration in mg per 100 ml. So in the box it is written that is a 33.3 mg per 10 ml. So in 100 ml, 10 ml contains 33.3, means 100 ml contains 333, and the path length in centimeter, that is also given here, is the, in that box it is there 1. So the overall values if we put, it will appear 0.68 into 72 into 100 divided by 333 into 1, and if we solve, then epsilon max will come as a 15. 15 is a very less number below 100. So this is the forbidden transition and representing the n to pi star transition, because the n to pi star transition comes in the UV range, which is here 275 nanometer, and it is an example of forbidden transition. So the epsilon max is very less, that is after calculation it is coming as 15. So with this we have completed the step number 1, means the interpretation of mass spectrum. We have also completed the step number 2, that is the interpretation of IR spectrum. We have completed the step number 3, that is the interpretation of the UV spectrum. Now let us go to the step number 4, where we have to interpret the H-NMR spectrum of that particular compound. So first we have to see the chemical shift in delta ppm, then we have to see multiplicity. Next, in order to calculate the number of hydrogens under each peak, we have to calculate the peak area in millimeter, and from that we have to get the idea about the number of hydrogens, and finally we have to interpret those peaks. Now let us coming to the chemical shift in delta ppm, that if we look at the H-NMR spectrum, which is at the bottom of this particular page, there are 3 signals are there. So these 3 signals are appearing at delta 1.1 ppm, 2.3 ppm and 2.5 ppm. Now in all the cases, the delta value comes at the center of the particular peak. If it is singlet, then there is that is the only one thing. If it is doublet, triplet, quartet, or quintet, for all the things, the delta value is the center. So based on that, we have got the 3 delta values, that is a 1.1 ppm, 2.3 ppm and the 2.5 ppm. This means that all the 8 hydrogens present in the molecule has the 3 different environments. So that's why we are getting the 3 different delta values. Now we have to consider the multiplicity. So the multiplicity gives the idea about the how many neighbors are there, because we know the formula multiplicity is equal to n plus 1. So now that peak which is appearing at 1.1, that is triplet, the peak at 2.3 ppm appears as singlet, and the peak which is at 2.5, that is quartet. So the multiplicity of the signals are triplet, singlet and quartet. So now coming to what it is called the integration, means that peak 1.1 ppm is for how many hydrogens, the peak at 2.7 is for how many hydrogens, and the signal which is appearing at delta 2.5 ppm, that is for how many hydrogens, and these three signals finally will represent total 8 hydrogens, because in the molecular formula there are 8 hydrogens are there. Now, in order to find out the number of hydrogens under each signal, we have to refer the S curve or the integration curve which is there on each and every peak. Now, by measuring the height of the S curve by using a scale, we are getting that peak at 1.1, that is 7 millimeter, peak at 2.3, that is also 7 millimeter, and the peak at 2.5, that is 5 millimeter. So this is 7 millimeter, 7 millimeter and the 5 millimeter. This indicates that equal number of hydrogens are present in the same 7 millimeter and the 7 millimeter, means the signal at 1.1 and the 2.3, whereas the peak at 2.5 represents the lesser number of hydrogens. Now exactly how many hydrogens are there under each peak? In order to know that, we have to divide the 7, 7 and 5 by the lowest number, means the 5. So 7 by 5, 7 by 5 and 5 by 5. So 7 by 5, 7 by 5 and 5 by 5, it gives the approximately 1.4, 1.4 and 1. So if we add 1.4, 1.4 and 1, we get what it is called the 3.8. So the 3.8 hydrogens are not possible, because we have to go to the 8 hydrogens. So so we have to multiply this by some number. So this multiplication factor will be total hydrogens, means 8 divided by 3.4. So roughly we can consider it as 2. So 3.4 that 1.4 into 2, that is 2.8, means roughly we can consider that is for 3 hydrogen. Again 1.4 into 2, that is 2.8, means roughly we can consider that is also 3 hydrogen. And the last one is 1 into 2, that is for the 2 hydrogen. So the first peak at 1.1 is for 3 hydrogen, second peak at 2.3 ppm, that is also for 3 hydrogen, and the peak at 2.5 ppm, that is for the 2 hydrogen. So 3 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 8. So now this is the complete accountability of the 8 hydrogens. Now coming to the distribution of this thing depending on its chemical environment and the neighbor. So the first peak, which is at delta 1.1, that is for the 3 hydrogens, means this is the signal for CH3. Now why it is coming as a triplet? Because at the neighbor it has the CH2. Triplet means multiplicity value is 3. So N is equal to 2. So adjacent key will be having one CH2. So now the next one is the let us talk about the peak at 2.3. So they are that is also for the 3 hydrogens. So but this peak, so here also it is some CH3 group, but it is appearing as a singlet, means it does not have any neighbor. But the thing is, it is the delta value is 2.3, means it is adjacent to the C double bond O. So this is CH3CO. And the first peak was the CH3, adjacent CH2 was there. Now come to the peak at 2.5, that is the number of hydrogens are 2, means it is indicating some CH2. Now this CH2 is appearing as a quartet, means the neighbor is CH3. So, and why it is coming at delta 2.5, means it is adjacent to the C double bond O. So with that we have completed the HNMR of that given compound, and we have come to know, if we assemble all these 3 information, we have the CH3, C double bond O, CH2, CH3, because the molecular formula of the compound is the C4H8O. So the C4H8O is nothing but, in this case it is CH3, C double bond O, CH2, CH3. So now the what it is called the last one, that is when we will come to know that it is 2-butanone. Then that mass fragmentation what we have got in the step number 1, those things we have to explain, that why we are getting the base peak at m by z 43, why we are getting peak at other peaks, means as for example 29, all these things we have to explain. So in order to explain the mass fragmentation of 2-butanone, let us see how it is possible. Now 2-butanone, when it is interacting with the 70 electron volt electrons, then one electron from the C double bond O oxygen is going, and this molecule is getting converted into the molecular ion, which is giving the peak at m by z 72. Now if we consider the alpha cleavage, then alpha cleavage can be of two types. One is the alpha heterolytic cleavage and alpha homolytic cleavage. So if we get the alpha homolytic cleavage, then we will be getting that ethyl group will go and it will end up into the ketomethyl cation. So that is the resonance stabilized acetyl cation, and that appears at the m by z 43. And then if we go for the alpha homolytic cleavage, in that case we will be having the if we go for the alpha heterolytic cleavage, then we will be having the reverse of this, means the acetyl radical will come and the ethyl cation will come. So ethyl cation gives the signal at m by z 29, right? Now other thing is the alpha cleavage can also be possible in the opposite side. So that is, in that case the C double bond O methyl bond will cleave, and the if alpha homolytic cleavage ki methyl dot will go, methyl dot goes means 15 will go, and if so 72 minus 15 we will get the peak at m by z 57. So with this we have completed the mass fragmentation pattern of this particular compound 2-butanone, which is giving the molecular ion peak at 72, that isotopic peak at m by z 73, base peak at m by z 43, and the other peaks are at m by z 57 and 29. So now coming to the final report or the conclusion, that based on the above spectral analysis, the given compound was identified as butanone.